the DJI Osmo Action 6 versus the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 versus the GoPro Hero 13 Black. Which of these is the best action camera right now? By the way, I'm shooting this intro on all three cameras, so drop your guesses in the comments down below and let me know which camera you think shot which clip. 2025 has been an interesting year for action cameras because only DJI released a new flagship, the Osmo Action 6. Meanwhile, Insta360 is still gunning for it with the Ace Pro 2, and GoPro has the Hero 13 Black. Now, after weeks of testing these cameras side by side, I'm going to say that they are closer than ever before when it comes to most of their features and image quality. But there are still a few distinguishing features that might make you choose one over the others. And we're going to settle once and for all which of these action cameras actually wins in low light. But before we get into that, let's start with the fundamentals. By the way, no one is paying me to make this video or telling me what to say. I am making this video because I'm genuinely interested in finding out which camera is best for filming my travel vlogs. So if you find this video helpful, please consider using my affiliate links below to help support the channel. So let's start with overall image quality. The new Action 6 has a 1/1.1 inch sensor, while the Ace Pro 2 has a 1/1.3 inch sensor, which is the same size as the Action 5, and the Hero 13 has the smallest sensor at 1/1.9 inches. In terms of specs, the Ace Pro 2 and the Hero 13 shoot in the highest resolutions. That's 8K for the Ace Pro 2 and 5.7K for the GoPro, while the Action 6 is still capped at 4K, just like we were with the Action 5. This was a little unexpected, but DJI actually did bring 8K to the Osmo Action 6 via a firmware update. So it now puts it on par in terms of max resolution with the Insta360 Ace Pro 2, and even puts it ahead of the GoPro. But honestly, I never shoot in 8K or 5K for normal video. I'm almost always at 4K because very few devices and platforms can even display 8K or 5K footage. Where those larger resolutions come in handy is if you want to crop into your videos later. And this is where things get interesting because the Action 6 now lets you shoot in a custom aspect ratio on a square sensor. So you can easily crop vertically or horizontally in post-production, as opposed to just shooting in the 4:3 aspect ratio on the Action 5. Speaking of, the Action 6 now lets you choose a vertical aspect ratio in camera, so you don't have to physically flip the camera on its side to shoot vertically. Now this feature is already on the Hero 13, but it is not on the Insta360 Ace Pro 2. For that camera, you still have to flip it vertically to shoot in that orientation. Now GoPro has had a custom aspect ratio in the form of shooting in 8:7 since the Hero 11, but it's still restricted to shooting in a wide field of view, even on the Hero 13, which is a bummer because that means that the lines are still warped. The Ace Pro 2 also has this feature. They call it freeform video mode, and like the Action 6, you can shoot in linear. So I think that the Insta360 and DJI have the upper hand when it comes to shooting in custom aspect ratios. Now let's talk about video colors, because this is one of those distinguishing features that might make you prefer one action camera over another. When you look at footage shot in normal color mode, all three cameras produce pretty similar results in terms of image quality, but their color science is definitely different. I feel like GoPro tends to lean warmer, and Insta360 is cooler, and DJI sits somewhere between the two. Which one is best really comes down to your personal preference. Let me know in the comments which color profile you prefer. Now what's interesting though is that the Action 6 actually drops the hybrid log gamma or the HLG color profile that was on the Action 5 Pro. The Hero 13 still has this HLG HDR, and the Ace Pro 2 has an optional HDR color mode. But here's the thing, the Action 6 still appears to have HDR effects even when shooting in normal color mode. Now this can be good in high contrast lighting situations, but it can also appear a little unnatural at times. So I would really like to be able to toggle this feature on and off, but that's still something you can't do in the Action 6. But the Ace Pro 2 is still at an overall disadvantage here because it lacks 10-bit color, which the DJI and the GoPro both have. It also has iLog, but it doesn't color grade the same way that GoPro Log and DJI's D-Log M do. Speaking of, the Action 5 and the Action 6 are the only action cameras here that have a color recovery toggle, which displays the video preview as color graded rather than faded and washed out. And as someone who shoots and log most of the time on these cameras, I find this to be super helpful for accurately composing my shots in camera. And speaking of color, the newest feature that debuted in the Action 6 are film tones, which are basically color filters that you can apply in camera so you don't have to run them through an editing software. There are quite a few of them, including cinematic and classic negative film tones, and I really appreciate that you can toggle the film tone strength. I usually keep this at around 30%. This is unlike the color filters on the Ace Pro 2, which are automatically applied at, I believe it's 100%, but I don't truly know because we're not able to see how much of that filter is being applied. Meanwhile, GoPro still lacks any color filters or film tones, other than choosing between natural and vibrant colors in camera. Now let's talk about the cameras themselves, how they look, how they feel, and how practical they are to actually use. So the GoPro and the DJI are pretty similar. They both have front screens and back screens, but the DJI front screen is touchscreen controlled, while the GoPro, even on the Hero 13, it's still not. Meanwhile, the Ace Pro 2 has a flip-up display, which means that its selfie screen is the biggest. And it's also the most flexible in terms of getting creative angles because of that flip-up screen. However, this does mean that the Insta360 is the biggest and heaviest of the three action cameras, coming in at 177 grams compared to 154 grams for the Hero 13 and 149 grams for the Action 6. So of these three, the Action 6 is currently the lightest. But it's also worth noting that compared to previous DJI action cameras, the Action 6 is slightly longer, so it won't fit the same cages. And also its lens filter is a little bit bigger, so you'll need different ND filters or polarizers if you use them. And personally, I find that this bigger lens means that the Action 6 tends to suffer from more light flares than previous Osmo action cameras. Alright, now the moment that you've all been waiting for, low light performance. This is where we see the biggest difference between these cameras. Now the Action 6 is the first ever action camera to come with variable aperture, which essentially means that it's supposed to crush the competition in low light. And based on my tests, well, I think it does. Look at this footage shot after dark. Let's say first that the GoPro is still terrible in low light shooting, so it really comes down to DJI versus Insta360, both of which have dedicated low light shooting modes, which the GoPro still doesn't have on the Hero 13. Now previously, I crowned the Ace Pro 2 the low light champion compared to the Action 5, but now, I honestly think that the Action 6 takes the cake. That variable aperture really improves the clarity and reduces the noise. And also the overall sharpness, brightness, and stability on the Action 6 is noticeably better than the Ace Pro 2 in low light. So while the Osmo Action 6 wins in low light, Insta360 starts to creep up a bit when it comes to built-in audio. Let me show you what I mean. This is what it sounds like using the built-in microphones of all three of these cameras with no wind reduction. This is what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like using the built-in microphones for all three of these cameras with wind reduction on. This is what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like using the built-in microphones for all three cameras with voice enhancement on, which is only available on the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 and the GoPro Hero 13 Black. This is what it sounds like using the built-in microphones of all three of these cameras with no wind reduction. This is what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like using the built-in microphones for all three of these cameras with wind reduction on. This is what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like using the built-in microphones for all three cameras with voice enhancement on, which is only available on the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 and the GoPro Hero 13 Black. This is what it sounds like using the built-in microphones of all three of these cameras with no wind reduction. This is what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like using the built-in microphones for all three of these cameras with wind reduction on. This is what it sounds like. When vlogging with the built-in mic, the Ace Pro 2, in my opinion, sounds the best when it has voice enhancement turned on. The voice is clear and the wind isn't distracting. You can really hear the difference, especially in windy conditions. And I mean, just look at that physical mic cover or windscreen that it has on the camera. Like, it's doing it a lot of favors compared to what we're getting on the DJI or the GoPro. Now, when it comes to connecting wireless microphones, all of them can do Bluetooth connections, but the DJI definitely has the advantage if you're using a DJI wireless mic. The connection is more seamless, and you can unlock more mic settings from within the camera, and you can also connect up to 2 DJI wireless mics simultaneously, which you can't do on the Insta or the GoPro. Now, if for whatever reason you don't want to connect mics via Bluetooth, you can also use a physical receiver. For the Insta360 and the DJI, the receivers can connect directly to the cameras via USB-C. But for GoPro, you'll have to use the Media Mod, which is sold separately, and you can only connect via the 3.5mm microphone jack. In terms of fields of view or digital lenses, the Action 6 adds a new natural wide FOV, so you have slightly more selections when it comes to framing your shot. This puts it more on par with GoPro and Insta360. The Action 6 also adds Horizon Steady 360 Lock, which we've already had on the GoPro and Insta360. So now you can spin the camera in a circle, but your horizon stays level the whole time. And for me, this has been one of the biggest upgrades on the Action 6 compared to the Action 4 and Action 5. I actually think this has been one of the biggest advantages of using an action camera over another compact camera like your phone or the DJI Pocket 3. It is so freeing to be able to hold your camera however you'd like and not worry about keeping it level. Now let's talk about battery life. I had to run this test a few times just to make sure that my numbers were accurate, and the findings were pretty consistent. I'm going to give you the longest battery life that I got from all of these cameras. So the first one, GoPro Hero 13. This was so disappointing because I've run GoPro tests before, and I feel like in the past the Hero 13 hasn't had overheating issues, but this time when I tested it, it did. So I couldn't get the GoPro to go longer than 45 minutes running continuously before it overheated. And I ran this test 3-4 times just to be sure that, it was accurate, and it was very consistent. 45 minutes is the longest that it would go before it overheated. Next up, Insta360 Ace Pro 2. The longest that it lasted was 76 minutes, so quite a bit longer than the GoPro, but not as long as the winner, DJI Osmo Action 6. It lasted a maximum of 127 minutes. I ran this test many times, and each time it came pretty close to that 127-minute mark. But yeah, the Insta and the DJI never overheated once. GoPro overheated every single time. DJI also has the advantage of sharing the same batteries between most of their models, including the Action 3, 4, 5, and now the 6, and even the Osmo 360. DJI also shares the same magnetic quick-release mount among their compact cameras, like the Osmo Nano, the 360, and their action cameras. Meanwhile, the Insta360 Ace Pro 1 and 2 do use the same batteries, but they're not interchangeable with other Insta360 cameras. And their magnetic mounts are sometimes interchangeable, like you can use the same ones between the Ace Pro 2 and the X5, but they don't work with their Insta360 Go Ultra. Finally, the Hero 13 has a unique battery that is not shared with any previous GoPro cameras or the GoPro Max 2, which is their latest 360 camera to come out. Also, the GoPro's magnetic mount just came out in the Hero 13, so it's not compatible with older cameras or accessories. But I will say that GoPro still offers the most flexible built-in mount on the camera, as it has the magnetic quick release, as well as the GoPro folding fingers, and a 1/4-20 hole all built into the camera. Whereas the Insta360 and the DJI, they just have their magnetic quick releases. Now, one of the historic disadvantages of using action cameras has been not being able to shoot close-up or macro shots, or get a blurred out background. But that all changed with the GoPro Hero 13 when GoPro released a macro lens, sold separately. That was one of the biggest advantages to using a GoPro. But now in 2025, Insta360 and DJI have also released macro lenses for the Action 6 and the Ace Pro 2. In terms of macro lenses, I was able to get a hold of the DJIs and the GoPros. I still don't have the Instas, so at some point I'll probably have to do a follow-up video on macro lenses for action cameras.
But first impressions, so again, the GoPro macro lens has been out for a while, DJI's is new, but they both have really nice build quality. They both feel really heavy and solid, but in a good way. One thing to know about these macro lenses is that when they are on the camera, there's a little bit of manual work involved. So each of the macro lenses, you have to twist it. And you have to indicate if you are shooting close up or shooting further away. So there's a little bit of manual work involved. When you do that, both GoPro and DJI give you these focus peaking lines on your camera so you know what's in focus. That really helps a lot.
So now let's talk about price, because this is where things really start to get even more interesting. So currently, the GoPro Hero 13 Black comes in at $320, the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 is $330, and the DJI Osmo Action 6 is $379. And if you're looking to save some money, the DJI Action 5 Pro is still available for $269. And honestly, it's a really solid camera, especially at that price. So here's how I see it. The GoPro is the most budget-friendly option at the moment if you're looking at the current flagships, but you are sacrificing low-light performance, and you'll also need to buy the media mod separately if you want proper mic connectivity. So that extra savings might not be worth it unless you're already locked into the GoPro ecosystem. The Ace Pro 2 at $330 is the sweet spot if you want audio quality that is the best when it's built in. You also get really good low light shooting, and it's only $10 more than the GoPro. But you are missing out on 10-bit color and the variable aperture that gives the Action 6 the edge when it comes to low light performance. So the Action 6 is $379. It is currently the most expensive action camera, but you're getting the best low light performance, the longest battery life, and those new film tones. And if you're already using other DJI gear, the battery and mount compatibility is a huge bonus. I also really love how the Action 5 and the Action 6 have built-in storage. And they have a special subject tracking mode that makes it look like the camera is planted on a gimbal following you around. Both of these features are lacking on the GoPro and the Insta360. So, which action camera should you get? If having good built-in audio is everything to you and you like having the flip-up display, then go with the Ace Pro 2. Or if you're on a tight budget and you don't need low light and you already have other GoPro accessories, the Hero 13 makes sense. Conversely, if you are in the DJI ecosystem and you want a camera that performs really well in low light and you don't mind spending a little bit more money, go with the Action 6. Or if the Action 6 feels too expensive, you might want to seriously consider the Action 5. You're going to miss out on some features like the custom aspect ratio, the film tones, and slightly better low light shooting, also the natural wide FOV and the 360 Horizon Lock, but you're still getting really solid image quality and DJI accessory compatibility at a lower cost. So what do you guys think overall? Which of these action cameras would you buy right now? As always, I've got affiliate links to all the cameras in the description below if you want to help support the channel. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them.